Hey everyone, welcome back to Nothing Nerdy. I'm back here with the Inspector Who Reacts, and we are discussing Captain America Civil War, the newest movie I watched this week. So yeah,
Yep.
so excited to talk about it. How you doing, Inspector?
Doing good, doing good. Really, I'm curious how this conversation about this movie's gonna go. Can uh, based off your reaction from the movie night.
Tell them what the original thumbnail was going to look like.
Very sleepy one.
It was of me sleeping. That's my reaction in a nutshell. But we'll get more into that. Yeah, so there was some. So hi, well, let me say hello to everyone. We have MXC, Mr. Pete channel needs 800 subs. Hello, Mr. Pete, Captain Spike, welcome back. Yeah, so there was some news
Unfortunate news.
in the Marvel universe this week.
Yeah.
Inspector's gonna
Uh,
touch on that.
yeah. So yeah, as today is the 30th of August,
Mm-hmm.
and unfortunately, 2 days ago, the news was announced that the actor who played Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman, passed away from cancer on Friday, I believe, or one of those days. But yeah, it's really, and you've just been introduced to this character,
Yeah.
so it's kind of, but yeah, but he's honestly, I can't wait to get to more movies with to talk about his character and such with you. But yeah, his character is a really interesting one and one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, it froze.
Like his career and everything and all that sort of stuff is kind of getting started.
Mm-hmm.
That yeah, this suddenly just happened, and apparently he was filming these movies while dealing with the cancer, and nobody knew about that. Nobody except close people. So it's like I don't know what I just don't know. I don't know whether I don't know what to say about that. It's just so kind of shocking.
Yeah, yeah, I'd
So
heard that he didn't tell anybody, or I guess select people, about his cancer, and yeah, and filmed all these movies. I mean, that's remarkable. That's incredible. I can't imagine. And from what
yeah,
I really don't know anything about. I don't know anything about the character. Well, just I saw him in this movie for the first time. I don't know anything about
yeah,
the actor, but from what I gathered over the last few days of seeing everything on social media, he was a beloved person,
yeah.
loved by many, and a beloved character. So I'm excited to learn more about his character and him as I continue,
Yeah.
on my
He
Marvel
was very
journey.
iconic
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, rest in peace, Chadwick. Rest in power. We look forward to discussing your movies.
Yeah, definitely. So,
So yeah,
so now on to,
without further ado, let's begin.
not that this movie is any more cheerful. I mean, all right. So I'm going to start with, if it's okay, I'm going to start with my
And
overall
the
reaction.
streams. Nice.
So, okay. So my overall reaction, my initial reaction, I didn't like it. Um, I didn't like it. It's just not my type of movie. Um, it was definitely jam packed with a lot of stuff. A lot of things happened, and I couldn't quite. Oh, a little lag there. I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah, we had a blip, but we're
Um,
back.
couldn't quite. I couldn't quite follow what was going on. Some things I got, some things I didn't. So like afterwards, I had to kind of go back and read a little bit about it to figure out what exactly was going on.
Hmm.
Um, I didn't like the idea of them being at odds with each other. I mean, I understand that. Okay, I didn't like the idea of them being at odds with each other. I didn't like the idea of them fighting with each other. It just, quickly lost
You just
interest in the movie.
you just didn't want to see the band break up.
Yeah, like I'm rooting for the good guys, and why are the good guys going at each other's throats? Like for me, that's not the type of movie I like to see. Um,
This this is basically like Anakin and Obi-Wan, the Revenge of the Sith
yeah,
issue.
and you
It's
know
just
that's not
suddenly
my favorite. It's not my favorite Star Wars movie. um, it caused unrest. Yes. Um, now afterwards, I went onto YouTube and I listened to some reviews, like what other people had to say, and a lot of people love this movie. If you're someone who grew up with these superheroes or just love these superheroes,
Yeah.
you're involved in the comics or whatever, for you to see these awesome, powerful people kind of go up against each other, like,
Yeah.
that's pretty epic, you know?
Yeah.
And,
And this kind of, I guess, tension between the characters has been building
mhm.
since like the first Avengers movie, because like you saw Cap and Tony were definitely at odds
Yeah,
in that movie, and then of course Ultron tensions kind of rose too because of what happened in that
right.
movie. There was like there's moral arguments and such, and are you there?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm listening to.
Okay, I'm sorry. Could you hear me? Because I feel like you froze for a second.
Oh, no, I was listening intently. Unless I froze, I don't know.
Yeah, but yeah, it's one of these things where it's like, and also, this is a comic storyline
Mhm.
where the like it was much grander. Like we had X-Men involved. I think the Fantastic Four were involved. More Marvel characters were involved. So there was like this big, grand, epic civil war between these characters, with Captain America and Tony, Iron Man being the opposing leads or something like that.
Mhm.
And yeah, like, this was a comic storyline, so this kind of was. We kind of knew what we were getting into when this movie was coming up.
I guess it makes sense. Do you want to know something? I guess because we've seen other movies in between, I wasn't really thinking about Age of Ultron.
Yeah,
But, like, that makes sense. They were starting to become at odds in that movie.
yeah,
So I guess it makes sense. It was building. And I didn't know that this was, like, a real comic storyline.
yeah.
But,
It was one of the kind of big ones, I believe. I've never read it, but I know some details about it. That's all I know.
okay. Yeah, I didn't. I mean, I didn't like the idea of them. I don't know.
Yeah,
I like it. I like it when they get together and they fight for the good cause, and they
yeah,
team up, and how their strengths complement each other. But you know what? Like, listen, I'm someone who watches the Hallmark Channel, so I like my
yeah,
happy-go-lucky movies. So, um,
yeah. This is definitely one of my, like, it's again, it's just like like Revenge of the Sith and Empire Strikes Back. They're very grim movies, but they're considered the best.
yeah,
um,
it was definitely also action packed, and yes, Hallmark Channel. And I know, like, a lot of people like those fight
yeah,
scenes, and they did a great job with that. I mean, it was the things that they did was just incredible.
yeah. This movie is, well, it has a lot of action, and it has some very. It's one of those things that, like, there's a lot of twists in this movie
Mhm.
that really make it one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Uh,
Listen, I like my
so
cheesy movies. I don't buy into it. It's just, happy, feel good stuff. You know.
so yeah. So yeah, I guess we should start with how like the movie starts and begins, and
I guess we'll start from the beginning. It's 1991. Um, let's see. So, Hydra, I guess they get
yeah,
Bucky out of um,
Cryo,
yeah, whatever state he
Frozen.
was in, and they um, they have a mission for him.
Yeah,
They need him to.
they use
Oh,
brainwashing code words to
their trigger words.
influence him.
Yeah. Um, use a trigger word, and and so that kind of, like, activates his memories. Not his memories, but his
Programming
programming.
per
Yeah.
se.
Hi, Steve. And yeah, so they have a mission for him. So he has to intercept this car, this vehicle. They have to take what's
Yeah,
inside. He has to take what's inside and kill the people who were in the car.
yeah,
So that's what we see. We don't see the people. We don't know who they are in the beginning,
yeah.
and we don't know initially what they took.
What he stole. Yeah,
Okay. Well, to me, it looked like like a box with blue tape on it. I couldn't really figure out what it was, but it looks like painter's tape. I'm like, what is that? If I'm thinking of the right.
It was like blue serum. Basically, it was like a medical gel, medical vials,
Oh, okay.
something.
Um,
Basically, like kind of the similar. A This is, I guess, yes, something that was explained later.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so okay, and so then we kind of fast forward to the present, and
Lagos.
what's that?
Lagos. Yeah, we're here at Lagos.
Oh, okay, right in Nigeria, and the Avengers are teaming up together to someone is trying to steal like a chemical weapon.
Yeah. Romlo, the character from Winter Soldier, one of the strike team,
Mm-hmm.
the one that was fighting Falcon, Sam, before the building
Mm-hmm.
was crashed on.
Uh-huh.
Which, by the way, he's from the comics too. His supervillain name is Crossbones, so it's kind of why he has that kind of a cross symbol on him.
Okay. And he has a so anyway, so they're trying to stop him. They're all together, and I guess that guy has like a bomb vest on. He's about to like
Oh, but yeah, we get a pretty we actually get to see the new
the new team.
basically, like, we see Wanda and Falcon and all of them kind of doing their first kind of Avengers mission. I don't know why Vision's not there. Like, now that I think about it, I just never thought about this. Like, where's Vision?
Mm-hmm. Maybe he wasn't invited.
But yeah, and I got okay. This is one of my, like, I remember watching this in the theater for the first time, and when you see Black Widow like chasing the two guys by herself, and she's like after like and trying to capture them, and then she goes into that. She actually gets to the fight. She's like, it's like almost like one camera shot, but she jumps on one guy, flips around, grabs the other guy, pulls the other guy down with her legs, and just flips over the other guy.
I was
Just,
really
like,
excited to see all of that because I was like, yes, okay, we have the Black Widow that we know and love, not the one I felt like the one in the
Yeah,
other
the
movie was
Ultron.
kind of like wishy washy. It wasn't her. It wasn't the real her. So gonna pretend that didn't happen. But yeah, I was like, this is girl power.
Yeah,
Yeah, this was
like
awesome.
we get to see her moves, we get to see all her fighting, and then we have when of course when she's at like a standoff, we have Falcon bring his little drone pet Red Wing, little pelican thing.
See, I'm not crazy, Pelican.
And yeah, helps her out, and that's when Cap gets into a fight with Crossbones,
Mhm.
with Rumlow, and which eventually leads to him trying to use a suicide bomb on Cap to take him out with him, but Wanda stops that.
And she stops it by using her powers, and ends up dragging.
Unfortunately, sends it into a building.
Yeah, and people were killed. So she's obviously horrified by what she's done. But yeah, so while she was trying to do something good, she ended up killing some people.
A very unfortunate collateral damage.
Yeah. And it kind of ends there. In the next scene, we see Tony Stark kind of introducing this new piece of technology. He's like, I guess he's at like a university.
Something like that, yeah.
Talking to a bunch of students, and he's kind of showing this new piece of technology.
This holographic kind of.
Yeah, where he's like in his memories. It's
Yeah, it's like memory holograms or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's called Barf.
Barf, yeah.
It's like why would somebody's gonna be mad about that name?
But it's so typical of him. Like, of course he would, it would have that. But yeah, I know. So this was one of those scenes where I was confused because you don't know what's going on at first. All of a sudden, you see
a de-aged Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah. And I was like, wait a minute, it sounds like him, but is it him? But he's young, and we're still in present day, so that's weird. And then we see his dad. They're like at home, and we see who we find out is his mom, um, and but then next thing we know, we see present day Tony Stark walking through this, and we realize it's kind of like a holographic image, and he's talking about the memory, and I think he says it's like the last time he ever saw them.
Yeah,
Um,
that was the last time he talked to his family,
yeah.
his parents.
Um, so, and then so anyway, he talks about that, and then he reveals to everybody at the university, hey, I'm going to fund all your projects or whatever. Everybody's excited.
Give you the funding to do whatever you want, kind of, with your projects. Like, if some of them fail, you can try again. If you just keep kind of going. He just throws money to everybody, which is nice.
Yeah,
it's a nice little. Pay your student debt.
Yeah. And then he walks off stage. He walks down the hall.
The teleprompter brings up Pepper.
Yeah, who originally was supposed to be there, but she's not. So he doesn't obviously say her name, and we find out that we eventually find out that they kind of, I guess, felt falling out. They're taking a break.
They're on a break.
Yeah.
Which is yeah.
So she's not in the movie, and I was disappointed, but
both I guess we can talk about that a little bit in the future, but yeah, both Cap and Tony have kind of lost the love of their lives in this movie, which is really unfortunate. It's kind of a very heavy blow to both of them.
Yeah.
But they're kind of just they're kind of on edge.
See, us women, we're pretty awesome, so so the poor guys. So anyway, he walks down the hall. He kind of leaves the staging area. He's kind of like he's kind of feeling down now. I don't know if he was like waiting for an elevator or something, or what he was doing.
I think he was trying to just sneak out or backdoor or something. Trying to leave quietly.
Oh, okay.
And he meets a woman who, I don't know if he meant to run it. Like, I don't know how this. It does feel like it's kind of out of the blue, or random. But I don't know if he intended to meet her, or she just found a spot to meet him quietly to talk to him. But she does bring up she talks to him, tells him that she mentions her son, who was in Sokovia, which was in Ultron, the Ultron city that was destroyed, and her son unfortunately died there.
Yeah.
And she's like basically says she blames Tony for that, which I have to kind of agree with her on that.
Yeah, I think
Ultron is kind of Tony's fault.
Anyone would feel the same way, and he feels you could see he feels bad. He feels guilt.
Yeah. He's guilt. He's trying, like, he's one of those, like why he helps all the students. It's kind of one of his ways to kind of help with his guilt. He's always got guilt, like guilt from Iron Man 1 when he was dealing with like the weapons he used to make or fund and all that sort of stuff. He realized, like, he was guilty about the results that came of that. And of course, when the Iron Man suit and all the technology of that led to more Iron Man people showing up, trying to his demons kind of thing. He's got these demons he's dealing with still.
Yeah. And all which plays an important part in his stance on what happens in this movie. Which leads into the next scene where okay, so this is when they meet with the Secretary of State, right?
Yeah, this is the kind of the table meeting where Secretary of State shows up, which is Ross. Actually, I found out, like, I didn't know what I knew his name was Ross, but I looked up what his full name was, and it turns out his name is like Thunderbird Ross or Thunderbolt Ross.
Maybe that's a nickname. It says
I think it's a nickname. It's like
the Diaz.
his. Um,
That's interesting.
yeah, it was kind of like when I was just because I never knew that before. Also, by the way, because you didn't watch because we skipped the Incredible Hulk. This Ross actually was a character in that movie. Um,
Oh.
so he yeah, he's a character. He's not a he's a character we've seen before, but
Okay.
he's not like you don't. It's again, it's not like you need Hulk to know who he is or anything like that. If you,
Okay. Um. So
but
he
yeah,
kind of comes in and he's like, "Listen, you guys, you can't do your own thing anymore.
mhm.
The government wants to kind of uh, control, basically control what you guys can and can't do. You know,
Yeah,
um, and they're like, he wants them to sign something called
the
the
Sokovia Accords,
yeah
um, which is the United Nations um, uh, uh, waiver, I
mm-hmm.
guess. That's the word I can think of. For them to be able to, yeah, control the Avengers, make sure they're not, getting out of control, but at the same time also, you know, deciding what they do.
yeah. And this essentially this is what divides the Avengers because some are for it, some think it's a good idea, some are against it. Um, Tony
That's
Tony is for it. You know, as we saw, he was feeling a lot of guilt. Master Jew, hello, how are you? They want to have a
yeah,
committee. Lay would not. Lay would. I am not a committee. Um, so Tony Stark
and
is for it. Because of his guilt.
mhm.
Um, Captain America is against it. Um,
Steve is not for it
yeah.
because he doesn't trust because of what happened with Hydra and
Mm-hmm.
Shield and Winter Soldier. He doesn't believe he can trust government. He
Yeah.
believes he can only trust like the individual, the people close to you, the people you
Yeah.
can make your own decisions, not have people make decisions for you, sort of say like deciding because like it says, like maybe sometimes they need to be somewhere and the government won't let them,
Yeah.
or maybe the government will send them somewhere that they shouldn't be going to.
Mm-hmm.
And what's very interesting about this is, it's like for both Cap and Tony, this is a flip.
I
Like
was about
Cap
to say
used to,
that. Yeah.
yeah, Cap used to be all for authority, all for following orders, and Tony used to be against that. Used to be not being all about free
Mm-hmm.
will and all that sort of stuff, or something like that. And yeah, this is really interesting to see these characters flip their usual ideals.
Yeah. I had to really think about that because I was like, because initially I was like, but wait a minute, you know, Captain America, he's a soldier, like he's used to like he follows orders. This is what he does. But then I had to think about it. I was like, all right, well, the last few movies with Hydra, like you said, and he learned that he can't necessarily always trust um,
Authority.
authority. Yeah. So yeah, so I thought that was kind of cool, character development,
Yeah,
they've evolved as characters. So it's kind of interesting.
and yeah, during this argument, Cap gets a text that Peggy has passed away,
Hmm.
which yeah, uh, that was a sad scene.
That was very sad. So he goes to her funeral and um, he sees, well, I guess this is where we learn, what was her name? Sharon? Is she Sharon, right? Sharon Carter? Not her.
Sharon Carter, yeah,
Um, it was her, what was it, her granddaughter? Or
niece,
her niece?
yeah,
Oh,
her
her great niece.
basically Peggy's sister's daughter
Okay.
or sibling,
Um,
yeah.
so we learned that they're related. I happened to find out, what?
And I was just thinking about something because I
Oh,
watched
okay.
Agent Carter and I was like, wait a minute, did she have who was her sibling?
I happened to find out they were related a couple when we first saw her because she
Yeah,
mentioned, um, or maybe they don't mention that her last name is Carter. I think I may have
no, not
looked up.
in Winter Soldier. No, she's not mentioned as
Um,
Carter.
for some reason, I looked up her character.
I think you saw it in Wikipedia, the other
Yeah, and
Wikipedia
I
we
saw the last name
read.
Carter, and I was like, oh, I wonder if she's related. And then,
Yeah.
um,
This movie is the one that reveals that.
right. So, um, so that's cool.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of cool how
Yeah.
they brought her in. Whose side are you on? So
Hello,
that's what
hello,
Matt gets
Maddie.
to say about all of that. Yeah, so that was a sad scene.
Yeah. And Sharon gives a speech
Mhm.
based off what Peggy has spoken.
Mhm. And
And
oh right, so she talks about how one should never back down from what they believe in,
yeah,
and this is what kind of gets Captain
S-
America to kind of
solidify root into his ideals.
yeah. Um, so that he kind of like then has it in his mind. He's not going to sign it.
Yeah. He doesn't believe in it.
Right.
And Vision will sign it. Clint is retiring. Hawkeye.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Wanda, I think, is gonna sign it, and Rhodey is gonna sign it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, a few others are to be decided.
I don't have my treats with me. They were all the way down the hall in the kitchen. Um,
Yeah, Black Widow shows up to talk to Cap about this.
um,
Natasha.
oh right, okay. I didn't think about. I had to think. Right. Oh, she shows up at the
Church funeral, yeah.
the funeral, and she, if I understand it correctly, is for it.
Yeah,
Right.
she decided, she realized, or she believed that, they could, yes, they'd be under control, but maybe they can also have some control still themselves.
Mm-hmm. Which I was kind of surprised by her stance on it. Like I thought she would have been completely against it.
Yeah, this movie really does kind of like show these characters how they've kind of grown,
Yeah.
or sometimes they could like surprise you with how they might be see the situation they're dealing with and how to handle it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Bad Frankie, bad. Wanda was to be determined. So Wanda hadn't decided yet. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So then we're in Vienna, where they're going, right?
Yeah. Some of them go. Natasha does go to the meeting where the accords are going to be signed,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where we meet T'Challa and his father T'Chaka,
Mm-hmm.
and they have a conversation about politics
Mm-hmm.
and such. And unfortunately during the meeting, there is an explosion. A van blows up, which kills T'Challa's father
Mm-hmm.
in the process.
Yeah. And as a result, they want to. They're after. Okay. Well, the
news.
security.
What?
The security footage reveals that it's
Bucky.
Bucky.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
as a result of that, they're after him.
Yeah. T'Challa plans revenge on Bucky
Mm-hmm.
himself, and Cap, Cap with Sam and Sharon decide to help Bucky.
Mm-hmm.
Like they make a small plan to find Bucky before the whoever's looking for other people find him.
Yeah. And let's see. Okay, following a tip off by Carter, Barnes is captured, and Captain America. Wait, and then they're all arrested, right?
Yeah, that's the whole like chase scene
Okay.
where they find Bucky in his house, we have the kind of the stairway fight,
Mm-hmm.
and then that's when Black Panther shows up and battles Bucky for a bit and chases him down the freeway. With Sam and Cap also there
Mm-hmm.
trying to stop. And by the end of it, they all get arrested.
Yeah. So now they were arrested because they broke the agreement.
They were going rogue.
Yeah. Okay. They weren't. They kind of didn't follow protocol, the new protocol or whatever. And because they were helping.
Yeah.
The a criminal essentially.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's also.
And,
do I have an echo?
No, you sound okay.
I mean, the chat can hear something.
I don't know what do you,
I mean, I probably sound to you, but I think my audio from the desktop and your mic is catching both audios.
I don't know how to fix it.
Yeah, it's small.
Okay, I'll just move this a little bit further away. All right, so.
Oh, I just remember. Yeah, after we get the serious scene where everybody's getting arrested, and then we cut to Vision cooking. It's like getting paprika.
Yeah, that scene was weird. That was just like, I don't understand. I was like, we see this guy in the last movie, and he's like, super serious and in like superhero costume, and now he's like wearing like a sweater vest, and he's cooking, and I'm just like,
he's trying to be comfortable with the humans.
Yeah, and then I was like, and then I'm watching him interact with Wanda, and I'm like, does he like her? Is he hitting on her? I was like, this is just getting weird.
Okay, should I? This is a kind of a comic spoiler, I guess I should say. Should I let her know?
You can let it be a surprise. But I mean, I don't know. Is it a big?
It's not a big surprise. It's like yeah, he doesn't use doors. He just goes through walls.
Oh right, there was that scene too.
Yeah.
Which is inappropriate. You're supposed to knock first.
But the door was open.
Yeah. Oh, alright, MXC saying don't say anything.
Okay. But yes, him and Wanda have a conversation, and then of course Wanda realizes she could probably get some food, but Vision lets her know that she's, because of Tony, Tony doesn't want Wanda out there.
Yeah. Yeah, like she wants to get pizza or something, and Vision's
basically saying, it kind of agrees with what Tony's saying. It's like, because it's, somebody could do something to her that caused her to do something, cause another incident, or something. They're trying, they are thinking, the safety of her and the safety of others. But, she doesn't, of course, it's another thing where she doesn't want to feel trapped. She doesn't want to feel contained. It's kind of a, I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah. No, I mean, it makes sense, but she's all upset about it. But, could still play out. It's all good. Yeah, they're just trying their best to, I mean, I don't want to expose either. I kind of like to be surprised, so. Did you like it? I did not. I wasn't crazy about it at all. It's just not my type of movie. Not my type of movie.
It's a very brutal movie.
Yeah.
on the feels.
All right. Now where are we? Barnes is in.
We're on our way to the Berlin facility.
Where Barnes is in captivity.
Sam asks T'Challa if he likes cats. It's like, what? He dresses up as a cat and you don't want to know?
I don't remember that. I must have zoned out at that part. Next two movies are more your side. Well, that's good. I'm glad I'm not the only one, Winston. Wasn't not my favorite either. I don't remember the thing with the cat.
Black Panther, T'Challa.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, they go into the facility. Barnes gets put into his cell of sorts, and Cap loses his shield, and Sam loses his wings. Like those are taken away. They beat up with Tony and Natasha in the meeting room of sorts.
And
Yeah.
is this when they get someone to come in and question Barnes?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, before that, Tony and Cap do have like a conversation where Tony brings up that they lost he and Pepper broke up for a bit. I hear buzzing. Is that you?
No, it's a car alarm.
Okay, I was like, did I hear that?
Yeah, it's not my car though. My car.
But yeah, him and Pepper split for a bit, and yeah, and he basically is asking, like, this is like asking Cap to sign the Accords, and of course, Cap mentions, he knew Howard Stark, and like Tony's just like, yeah, I like his dad just would say nothing but Captain America all the time. He's like, he's so tired of hearing about Captain America. And no, here's Captain America in front of him. It's one of those weird things. It's like Cap's like 40s from the 40s.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
But then after Tony mentions Wanda, Cap gets upset because he thinks Tony doesn't see Wanda as a person, because she's a kid, and he's treating her as like a weapon.
Yeah, that needs to be kept under a lock and key.
Yeah. So yeah, that basically is when Cap decides he's not agreeing with Tony.
Yeah. So we start to see more of the rift between them.
Yeah.
It continues to expand. Okay. So then, we get the scene where Barnes is, wait a minute,
psychiatrist situation.
Right.
Okay. Which is actually Zemo, this character who has shown up in the beginning, who found the Russian people who had Bucky, and found the little red book that had all these details, and he's looking for a mission that Bucky performed. Once he finds all this information, he sneaks into pretending to be the therapist that was going to be talking to Bucky, and that gets him. And he also creates an EMP device to knock out the power, to give him an opening and a window to release the Winter Soldier in Bucky.
Yeah. So that happens, and he busts out.
Yeah. Bucky gets out. Havoc is kind of like, there's chaos going on. And Bucky fights both Tony, Natasha, and Sharon, and T'Challa.
Another fight scene, another epic fight battle. This was another good thing with this movie. I was like, it was just like one fight scene after the next, and I was like,
yeah.
Wait, I was like,
I started to notice that. I was like, man, this. I know like there was a conversation about like Winter Soldier had a lot of action, but I felt like this had much more action.
Yeah.
Like there's just action.
And I think I read that the same director who did Winter Soldier also
yes.
did did this Captain America, which I guess makes sense. You can kind of see the similarities between them.
Yeah. The Winter Soldier directors were also involved with Civil War.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, which I gotta say, it's kind of funny because I feel like their movies are very grounded compared to like the other kind of more crazier movies, which is it's kind of, but it does they're more like they're more dramas
Yeah.
than, but with action and superheroes and such.
Yeah. Two directors.
Russo brothers.
Right. Okay. All right. So.
Bucky almost escapes, but Cap stops him.
Oh, that was the scene with the helicopter, right?
Yeah, and Cap's muscles.
Holding, yeah, you could see that was totally like intentional. Like, let's take this moment and show off his Chris Evans. That's his name, right? Let's show off his biceps. I was like, come on now, I hate that. It's like, yes, they're there.
I mean, he worked hard for that body. You gotta at least show it off.
But even I was impressed. I mean, obviously, I know he wasn't real, but I was like, wow, like this character can
hold a helicopter.
Yeah. So, but then, so then Bucky, in an attempt to stop him, tries to, he crashes the helicopter. And they...
Yeah, he crashes the helicopter, gets knocked out, and Cap takes him away.
Yeah. Okay, and then he tells him that Zemo is headed for the Hydra facility in Siberia, where there are other
Winter Soldiers
that were created. So, using that serum that he stole back in 1991. Those biceps No Anakin Skywalker sit there in 9.
Have you seen Anakin's biceps?
I much prefer his calf muscles, but that's just me.
But yeah, so when Bucky basically says, he explains like where he was kept, where other Winter Soldiers were created, and how they're much more powerful than him.
Mm-hmm.
Probably they're better soldiers than he is.
Yeah.
And how dangerous they are if they're unleashed, and if Zemo can control them.
Yeah.
So that's what they're worried about. So but unfortunately they can't just tell other people to help them, because those other people are after them.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're rogue. They're under supervision and such. So it's like they can't just get others to help them.
Yeah.
Without causing a ruckus.
Yeah.
Which eventually does kind of happen.
Yeah, I was so confused when I initially saw this movie, and I was like, why are there bodies in this glass case? I was so confused initially when I watched the movie. I couldn't quite figure out what was happening with that. But
also, so the scene, the scene where Cap mentions like, we're on our own, we need help,
mm-hmm.
and Sam says, I know a guy.
Mm-hmm.
That was Ant-Man's after credits scene. So we got like a Civil War sneak peek to let us know that Ant-Man was on the way.
Oh, gotcha. Right, it was cool. I didn't know Ant-Man was going to show up in this movie, so that was cool.
That was I was wondering if when Sam said that, did you know that that's what he meant? Who he meant?
No.
Who he was talking about?
I did.
Yeah.
When I tell you I could not follow this movie, I could not follow this movie. I'm going through the internet here, and I'm like, wait a minute, who's this guy? Because I don't know their names either. But I'm getting
it. And then we cut to Natasha and Tony. They're talking with Ross. They're making a plan because they know the only way to get to Steve is them. Like, they're the best chance of stopping Steve,
mm-hmm.
and not soldiers or random other people. And so, like, again, they're also understaffed. They need a team of their own.
So they start to round up the troops, and they get Ant-Man.
Tony, like, not the Cap's team gets Ant-Man. Tony gets Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. I definitely wasn't expecting that.
Yes.
but that scene was
So
funny. I didn't realize initially what was going on. But
yeah,
so we see Peter Parker. We don't know it's him. At least I don't think they say his name initially. He goes home and he sees his aunt talking with Tony Stark.
yeah.
Um, and you know, she
There's
says,
an
"Oh."
Ant-Man and a Spider-Man.
um, Tony goes to New York City. Um,
Yeah. Queens.
Queens.
Ever been to Queens?
Maybe, maybe not. um, yeah. So anyway, they chat. So I guess so. Tony knows about Spider-Man, if I understand correctly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now, so wait.
He's got like security or whatever, something that basically to whatever technology he has, he's able to track down Peter.
Was he really? He wasn't one of his students, right?
No.
He really was. Okay. Um, I wasn't. I wasn't 100% sure who that kid was.
Yeah. Which is yeah. This is kind of like the thing was like back. This is the first time Spider-Man has joined the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
So before this, there was like teases, there was rumors. We weren't sure if we were going to get Spider-Man in this because of the whole Sony kind of deal.
Oh, okay.
Because Sony had made the Spider-Man trilogy,
Mm-hmm.
and then they made another Spider-Man, like made like another reboot of the Spider-Man movies
Uh-huh.
before finally giving Marvel some rights
Okay.
for this. So yeah, finally we have Spider-Man with these other characters.
Mm-hmm.
And he's honestly one of my favorite Spider-Man.
He was. I thought he was very good. He was funny. Like he delivered his lines really well. He was really funny. He was a nice addition to their team.
I love the fun little fact, the scene where Tony, like when Tony's talking with Peter and he goes to sit down next to him,
Uh-huh.
he's like looks down at him, he's like, can you scooch up a bit? And then he says, I'm gonna sit here. That's a blooper because like the actor was supposed to shift before Tony sat down. He's like, but he forgot, and he's like, can you shift a bit?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I guess it decided.
It's like I'm gonna sit here.
That's funny.
And then of course he says like, hey, have you ever been to Germany? And he's like, what? No. It's like, you should come with me. It's like, I have homework. I can't believe you said that.
That was funny. Yeah. It was their scene was good together because I mean they're both funny, so
And yeah, another thing that's kind of interesting is that we get introduced to this Spider-Man without an origin story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because basically at this point we've seen 2 origin stories in like the last 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
So this is one of those things where it's like, okay, we're just gonna like, who Spider-Man is. Everybody knows who Spider-Man is. We're just throwing Spider-Man in here and explain kind of what happened to him. Like he'll explain, like he says, he's had these powers for 6 months, and he's trying to deal with school. He's trying to do all this, and he's trying to be Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I did wonder for a minute if I missed something. Like I thought maybe there was like they had done the movie already, and like because I know we're going out of order, so I was like, oh, I wonder if there was a movie and we're just not.
No. This is the first time Peter Parker Spider-Man has been in the MCU.
Mm-hmm. Oh, all right.
Which was a nice surprise.
Very cool. All right. Oh, so he's in high school at this point. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
He was a college kid. Oh, wow. Wow, so that's kind of awful.
Yeah! Like, Tony recruits a kid.
That's so not ethical.
Yeah, I know. Like,
really I really thought he was, like, in college. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, he's 18, whatever. Like, he's old enough to make his own decisions. But high school, like, here you are. You want to sign this whole thing so, like, the Avengers can kind of be kept under control. told what you can do and what you can't do. You follow the law, blah blah blah. You go and get an underage kid to potentially die.
Yeah. This kid's probably he's one of the few superpowered kids, and plus they're just here. That's what he says. When we get to the fight, he just says what we talked about. You just have to web them up. You don't have to fight. You just have to capture them. That's the goal. It wasn't kill or anything. It was just capture.
But
yeah, it was a kid. It's a kid.
Oh, I don't know.
Teenager, but still.
Oh, I don't know. I think it's kind of
The other